I will call the Harrison County Commission meeting to order for Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. If you will rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you today. What a wonderful feeling to walk in this building and see people with their pink on because they are breast cancer and cancer survivors. Lord, we don't understand your perfect plan, but we know that you do have a plan for us to do good, prosper, not do evil, and to have hope, faith, and wait patiently on your perfect plan, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have? Thank you, sir. Mr. Queen.
Commissioner, I realized we had a
Okay,
spot on there for him.
okay. Brenda Welch.
I'm new here. Is this where I go?
It's fine.
Okay, I have an audio, first of all, for everyone to listen to.
About to grumble, fell silent again when he ordered, "Don't go down to eat."
That's not mine.
No.
That barking is 30 feet from my bedroom window. And it goes on day and night. The people just moved there approximately a month ago. My topic is barking dogs and disturbing the peace. Dogs that bark for hours, dogs that bark at night. Example, after 10 p.m. and through 6 a.m. Dogs that interfere with peace and well-being of people around them. Dogs that bark longer than 2 hours during the daylight is disturbing the peace of people around them. Dogs that bark at night, disturbing the peace and sleep of people around them. Animal control has no control or a solution to the dogs disturbing the peace or the well-being of the people being disturbed. County police has no law or ordinance to enforce a disturbance of the peace by barking dogs. Solution: create a law or ordinance that protects those being grossly disturbed by barking dogs and enforcement of such laws by a warning, followed by fines, laid out by this committee. Certain timelines could be offered from the hours of 10 to 6 or something like that they could go by to ensure the rights of persons being disturbed be protected. A first contact by an official may prevent further disturbances. My story. 5 bear hunting dogs are placed in medium dog houses on 4-foot chains, approximately 30 foot from my bedroom window. The dogs bark and whine constantly, disturbing and disrupting sleep and peace. After 3 weeks of little sleep and lots of frustration, I asked the owner to take the dogs in at night. The answer was, they are outside dogs used for hunting bear. I called animal control because 2 dogs were tangled in their chains and no one was home to untangle them. Animal control came and untangled them. I then called them again about the barking and was told that dogs had food, water, and shelter, and there was nothing I could do about the continual barking and noise and disturbance of the peace. I called county police and complained about the continual barking and crying of the dogs. And disturbing my peace and well-being this officer told me that there was anything to be done without a law or an ordinance. This officer advised me to contact the county commission. And that's what brings me here today. I called the mayor of Lost Creek, who told me to call animal control. I have nowhere else to turn. I contacted County Commissioner Susan Thomas and was advised to address this commission about this topic. Conclusion, I have dogs. I love dogs. I can't imagine that I am the only one in this county with this problem. As the owner of dogs, have rights to have dogs and use for hunting, I also have rights to live peacefully in my own home, which I have lived in for 31 years. For this commission to adopt a law or ordinance to be used as a tool to bring peace to all involved where no other tools are available. The only tool left in my box is to move.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom wish to speak public? Hearing none, we will move on to 10:05, request to accept a copy of a will, Patricia Lynn Heitman. And if I pronounced that wrong, I apologize.
Good morning. My name is Deborah Flanagan, and I was appointed in a will for Patricia Heitman to perform the duties to liquidate the assets. Unfortunately, with her passing, I was unable to locate an original signature. I had copies of it, and I submitted a letter. Mrs. Heitman had been our former pastor's wife. He passed away unexpectedly almost 3 years ago at 61, and she had cancer at that time. And I had taken care of her, assisting her financially as well as medically, getting her to all her appointments. And unfortunately, on August 13, she passed away pretty quickly as well at 61 years old. They never had children. He had been our pastor for approximately 30 years. So I'm just asking that the commission consider recognizing the copy that I submitted as a valid will.
Everybody was notified, correct? Anybody have any questions?
Anyone here?
I don't believe so. Anybody here to speak against this?
Then I'll make a motion, that we accept the copy of the will.
Okay, the motion's been made to accept the copy of the will. Is there any further discussion or questions? And that an order be prepared and executed.
Thank
Can
you.
we add that to your motion?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, 10:10, we have a proclamation for National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Whereas Harrison County has long been and continues to be committed to fostering an inclusive community where people with and without disabilities have equal opportunity to live, learn, work, and thrive. Whereas statistics show that while 71% of people without disabilities in West Virginia are employed, only 28% of people with disabilities and just 19% of those with cognitive disabilities are employed, demonstrating the ongoing need for greater access to competitive, integrated employment opportunity. Whereas workplaces that welcome and support the talents of all people, including those with disabilities, strengthen our community, enrich our communities, and reflect the values of inclusion and dignity. Whereas agencies such as the ARC of Harrison County, Job Squad, and WorkAble, PACE, within the county partnership with the West Virginia Division of Rehabilitation Services to provide individualized support to help people with disabilities prepare for, secure, and maintain meaningful employment in the community, and collaborate with local businesses, agencies to advance opportunities for full participation in the workforce. Now therefore be it resolved, we, the Harrison County Commission, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Disability Employment Awareness Month. Be it further resolved that the Harrison County Commission calls upon employers, schools, agency, and community organizations throughout Harrison County to observe this month with programs and activities that promote awareness, inclusion, and opportunity, and to affirm throughout the year that with the right supports, individuals with disabilities can thrive in competitive, integrated employment, passed by the Harrison County Commission, West Virginia, this 15th day of October 2025.
So I've been with Norm for 24 and a half years. So obviously I absolutely love what I did and supporting individuals with disabilities is like the greatest report ever. So I'm sure as you all know, individuals with disabilities are getting hard during these days. So if anybody has a small business and needs help or they're interested in working with our program, please reach out because we are so more than happy to help anybody.
My name is Jess Williams, the customized employment specialist with ARC of Harrison County, and this is Mariah Jenkins, she's our vocational programs director. This is very important to us. We're trying to work with a group of professionals in West Virginia, through the West Virginia Association of People Supporting Employment Folks, to try a movement towards legislative change for individuals with disabilities maintaining employment. So that's something that we've been working on pretty heavily throughout the past year, and we're hoping that we're going to be able to bring something to the table legislative wise in the next year.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
10:14, but we have a 10:15 proclamation for National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm assuming since the two commissioners weren't moving.
Our clock said 10:15.
Make breaks. Whereas the problems of domestic violence are not confined to any group or groups of people, that crosses all economic, racial, gender, educational, religious, and social barriers, and are sustained by social indifference, and whereas the crimes of domestic violence violate an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity due to the systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and or abuse. And whereas when a family member is abused, it can have long-term damaging effects of the victim that also leave a mark on family, friends, and the community at large. And whereas victims should have help to find the compassion, comfort, and healing they need, and abusers should be punished to the full extent of the law. And whereas victims of violence should have access to medical and legal services, counseling, emergency and transitional housing, and other supportive services so that they can safely escape the cycle of abuse. And whereas it is important to recognize the compassion and dedication of the individuals who provide services to victims of domestic violence and work to increase public understanding of the significant problem. And whereas important partnerships have been formed among law enforcement agencies, healthcare providers, and other allied professionals to assist victims of domestic violence through a multidisciplinary team. Whereas we encourage domestic and sexual violence victims and their families to seek assistance from appropriate victim services organizations such as HOPE. And whereas Harrison County dedicates themselves to protecting vulnerable members of our community, and now therefore be it resolved, the Harrison County Commission does hereby proclaim October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Be it further resolved that the Harrison County Commission encourages all citizens to support the moral obligation to work to prevent domestic violence, address its brutal and destructive efforts in make ending domestic violence a local priority, given under our hand and sealed this 15th day of October 2025.
We just want to let everyone know that we are here for all ages, all genders, all demographics, all sexualities. If you need help, you can call us on the 24-hour hotline at any time. Thank you.
Okay. Consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve consent agenda as presented.
Motion to approve consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Payroll change notices A through G. What's the pleasure?
Motion to approve C, E, F, and G.
So, could you repeat that again for me, Patsy?
C, E, F, G. We can go A, B, and D, for now, from the discussion.
Okay, so the motion is to approve payroll change notices C, E, F, and G. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. So the motion carried. Number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meetings. What's the pleasure?
Let's approve the regular meetings for October 1st, 2025 and document.
Motion to approve regular meeting minutes for Wednesday, October 1st and adopt into the record. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices. We have A and B. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve requisitions and purchase orders as presented.
Motion to approve requisitions, purchase orders, and invoices, I'm gonna say A and B as presented.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carried. Okay, at 10:20, we have Harrison County Historic Preservation Committee speaking about the upcoming levy. You know your time's limited.
Sure I did, absolutely.
I just want to make sure that you,
Yeah, we're going quick.
because we know you like.
What's that supposed to mean? Commissioners, I'm Mike Queen, 522 Broadway Avenue, Bridgeport. I'm here as a citizen in support of the newly created Historic Preservation Alliance. You may remember a little over a year ago, there was an idea floated about an excess levy to support the historic preservation programming and facilities, the wonderful facilities we have here in Harrison County. We want to start out today by thanking the commission for continuing to support, fund, and fund some more the 14 agencies that make up the Historic Preservation Alliance. And I will mention to you that all 14 are represented here. We've been meeting the last several months. And the request today is to ask the commission to consider and take under advisement from us and with our support, the idea of placing an excess levy called the Historic Preservation Excess Levy on the May 12th primary election ballot. That would allow the citizens of Harrison County to take a position on the preservation of the programming and facilities that the 14 agencies represented here today take care of and care for each and every day. Those 14 agencies are Bice Ferguson Memorial Museum in Shinston, the Shinston Historical Association, the Clarksburg History Museum, the Randolph House in Salem, Fort New Salem, Salem Depot, Civilian Conservation Corps Museum, Harrison County Historical Society, the Johnstown History Museum, the Lost Creek Depot, the Stonewall Jackson Civil War Roundtable, Baltimore, and West Virginia Heritage Crafts. We would propose that you consider the creation of the levy controlled by a 5-member board that the Harrison County Commission would appoint. We're not asking for any specific seats, but we would leave that up to the commission to appoint a 5-member committee to oversee the expenditures of the levy. The levy expenditures will not exceed $491,000 a year, divided into 2 different categories. Category 1 would be dedicated funding to these organizations who are represented here today, outlined in the letter that we present to you each and every year. The second pot of that money, about $240,000, would be directed by the 5-member committee. That would be for emergency expenditures. That would be for unforeseen facility improvements that need made, ADA compliance and the such. But those would be directed each year for a period of 5 years under the levy by this 5-member committee. The 5-member committee would make recommendations, and that would only be approved, final approval, by the Harrison County Commission. One of the largest parts of the Category 1 funding you'll see is $70,000 for historic cemetery preservation. There's been a groundswell of activities on our cemeteries here throughout the county, and this would allocate $70,000 a year to the preservation, upkeep of those cemeteries. I think you may have recalled seeing an article in the newspaper where several dozen tombstones in a local cemetery had been upended, and it cost several thousands of dollars to get those tombstones put back up. And we do have some very historic tombstones here in Harrison County. So we are here today to ask you to take it under advisement to consider placing the Harrison County Historic Preservation Excess Levy on the ballot next year and allow the citizens of Harrison County to decide if that $491,000 allocation is important to them. By the way, we don't have the final figures back. We would work with our assessor to determine each class, but we figured it'll be about $6 per year for the average assessed home in Harrison County of about $150,000. So if your home is worth assessed at $300,000, it would be $12 a year. We think it's fair and reasonable request. And again, we appreciate your support in the past and your continued support for this concept and idea. We haven't taken it lightly. We've been meeting the last several months. Members of the Alliance organizations are here, and we would certainly welcome any questions you may have here initially. And we pledge to work with you and the legal team and the administrator to come up with an idea or a ballot initiative for next May. We think we have plenty of time to do that. That's why we're starting early. Any questions?
Michael, is this going to be a standalone?
Yes, sir.
It's not going to be tied to any other.
No, it would be standalone. There's another levy, of course, up next year, and we don't want to jeopardize that in any way. This would be a standalone levy.
Have you looked at the number that you've asked and how it will affect the other levies that we're considering?
None of the other levies, the vital services levy would specifically speak to any of the needs for the historic preservation side.
No, what I'm trying to get across is we're only allowed to levy so much based upon our tax collections.
Right.
So what you all are asking can affect whether or not we increase the money that we give to other entities and support now with the present levies that we feel that maybe need to be increased. So this 491,000 could potentially affect.
We wouldn't want that to happen, Commissioner.
Well, I mean, since we can sit here and say, I think,
Well, we looked at,
well, I think these guys here need to go from 700,000 to 1.6 million. So I'm going to look at you and say, are you willing, do you want us to give them 1.6 million or 400,000 to you?
Well, I think that's why you put the levies on the ballot. I personally would support the EMS and the needs of the EMS and the safety of the community. But I also think that historic preservation, the costs continue, as you know, the costs continue to rise, and we really need that funding somehow. We can't continue to put it all on.
And I need for you all to understand that our tax collections continue to go down.
Continue
And
to
the
go down.
values go down. So we don't have the values that we had last year or the previous year.
We weren't aware of that, Commissioner. That's a great point. We
And
don't want.
we lost over $4 million to us. We lost over $2 billion in value last year just in our taxes. So I appreciate what you're doing,
Yeah.
and I understand, but I hope my commissioners look at the big picture, which is who the levy where we really need to support.
Sure. Well, if it's not 491 and it has to be 300, we would make do. If it's 200,
Okay.
if you would just consider this type of a funding effort every year, even if we had to negotiate it down, and we're not negotiating, we're just saying.
No,
we think it's important.
I'm just saying it's easy to ask for the money, but I don't think the taxpayers or everybody understands there is a limit to what we can tax for levies.
And that goes down when your overall value goes down. I just
Yep.
wasn't aware that it had gone down that far.
Yes.
That's
Yes, we
good.
can thank the state of West Virginia, what it did to oil and gas, took away from the counties and did not make us whole. It cost this county and other counties a lot of money, and it affected what we're able to do for you all. And going forward, it will affect what we can do.
Well, just for the record, we don't want to jeopardize our emergency services or the vital services levy. But we do think this is an important enough issue for you to at least consider it as a standalone levy for the next election.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all. I just want to make sure that I know when we're sitting down going over the levies and the requirements where this, and hopefully we can have some more meetings to discuss what you're asking for and what's available.
We stand ready to, again, we're here first and foremost to say thank you for what the commission's done in the past. and continue to do. The commission's always been there to help the organizations that are represented here today. Maybe not as much as you'd like, maybe not as much as we'd like, but you've always been there. So we don't want to jeopardize that support as well. But thank you. And we stand ready to assist the commission and you, Madam Administrator, as you begin to develop the levy call for next May. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, 1025, special funding request from Northern Appalachian Coal Mining Heritage Association requesting funds to help the ongoing NACMHA projects. Sure.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. So I was here last year with NACMHA. That's what we say instead of the mouthful of Northern Appalachian Coal Mining Heritage Association. We just shorten it to NACMHA. And you guys graciously gave us a sponsorship last year. Part of what we were running on last year was that we were trying to get exhibits into each of our 6 counties. Unfortunately, we were not able to get an exhibit in every county, but we were able to actually add an exhibit here in Harrison County. So we accomplished that goal in a couple of different ways. This year, I am coming to you guys asking again for a sponsorship to NACMHA for 2026. This year, our coming up year, the project that we're focusing on is going to be the Coal Heritage Trail. What we're planning on doing is having a trail of sorts that people can drive through each of our 6 counties that's going to highlight the coal heritage sites that represent specific historical meaning to each of these counties. For Marion County, we already have 4 signs designed and they are good to go. We just are waiting to get them installed. And then for Harrison County, we already have 2 write-ups for what would be on the signs, and that's going to include the Dolomine as well as the PK mine here. Unfortunately, though, those signs cost quite a bit of money. They're about $1,800 a piece. And so as you can imagine, having 3 to 5 signs, we'll say, in each one of our counties is going to be quite a large undertaking for us. So that's why I'm returning again this year and asking for some more funding so we can try to get this project up and going and move forward. I do have examples of the signs that will be going in Marion County, as well as a copy of the write-up for the 2 signs that we have planned right now for Harrison County, as well as a list of other locations that we are looking to possibly add signs to here in Harrison County, if you guys would like to see those.
Please.
Okay. There's not. We were running out of ink at the printer. All right. So those first couple of pages are going to be the PK mine and the Dolomine write-ups, as well as some photos that we could include on each of the signs. Like I said, again, there is a list of other locations that we are considering. If you guys have more locations that you would like us to consider, we are more than happy to do that. We are finding that some of the research on these coal sites it's hard to come by. So we're trying to find the best locations that will allow for the best research, as well as provide something to the community. And then, of course, there are the examples of the signs that are already designed for Marion County. We're using the Civil War Trails group to actually fabricate and install the signs for us. So I'm sure you guys are aware of the Civil War Trail signs here in Harrison County, as well as throughout West Virginia. So we know the quality and the type of signs that we'll be getting once they're fabricated.
Are you getting any support from the counties as far as CVB boards?
I'm working, yes. So this is, honestly, you guys are my first meeting this year. I have a list of about 15 to 20 meetings that I'm attending. That's going to be city councils, all the county commissions, as well as CVB boards, things along those lines. I know Marion County CVB is on board with helping. I'll be talking to the Clarksburg CVB later today as well about helping, seeing if they would be able to contribute, things along those lines. So.
And is the state willing to participate in this as far as
we have not
tourism at all?
I have not been successful in getting any form of communication opened with them as of right now. I know they've combined their tourism group with or department with the arts and cultures department, and I think there's a little bit of leadership change going on, and so it's been difficult to get the ball rolling with them. But I'm gonna keep trying, so. Yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. Or probably exactly what we have and had here.
So $2,000, the motion is for $2,000.
One time this year.
Nancy, okay.
So I didn't ask for any specific amount. We do have levels of sponsorship, which is
Confused.
in part of the letter that I had sent in the mail previously. But if you guys need a physical copy, I do have one here.
What are the levels?
So we have our diamond level, which is $5,000 plus, platinum level, which is 2,500 to 5,000. Gold level is 500 to 2,500. And then silver level is 250 to 500, and bronze level, which is the lowest level, is the 100 to 250. And by providing a sponsorship at any of our events, and possibly even on some of the signs that we place here, we can include the county logo so people know that the funding came from you guys to help us with these projects.
Is there any more discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, number 7, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District, Series 2021 A and B Development District number 3, Without Oaks Project number 2, and Series 2008 A Charles Point Project number 2, Northland Bay Improvements. We have A, B, and C. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve agenda item 7 as read by the commission president.
Motion to approve item number 7 as read by the commission president. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 8, review, discuss, consider approving tax increment financing annual report.
So Madam President, this is the annual report that Tommy Amon, Steptoe and Johnson put together for us that we file every year. He sent us a copy. It was distributed to the commissioners to review, so we can approve and he can get that down to the state.
Send down to council.
Motion to approve the tax increment financing annual report and send to Charleston. Assume there's any signatures that are.
That's what I was
None?
looking for, Susan. I'm not saying that's what I
Okay.
was, when she said report, there's nothing to attach.
Just a report.
There's no signatures to go along with it. It's just the report that is sent down.
Is there any discussion, further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 9, review, discuss, consider adopting rail trail maintenance standards.
Susan, I asked this to be put on for all the work that we're doing on the rail trails and trying to standardize the way we've repaired or maintaining and building new trails, that we have something that to go by so that our employees or people that we want to work on the rail trails know how we should build them and maintain them. It's just a good standard. Right now, we have none. You go to the rail trails, you'll find anywhere from a grass goat path to 2-foot wide gravel path, 8-foot wide path. no ditches, culverts. This just kind of gives going forward in the future, the people, whether it would be us as future commissioners, or at least we would have a standardized that we maintain.
Well, first off, I think the rail trails are a work in progress, so I understand the goat path and the grass. But how do you, I mean, do we contact somebody to see? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, is maybe contact somebody from another organization that has trails in their county to figure out where we start.
Madam President, in your. There it is. Construction standards.
Well, are we gonna turn this over? Who's gonna work on this?
Work on,
We're gonna adopt these without any
but
conversation or without anything? Any discussion with anybody?
they've been sent to staff. Staff was asked to send them to Thrasher. I don't know
That's
with
all.
Thrasher's review, but at the same time, it's whether or not we want to adopt it, and that's what Thrasher builds the trails to.
I mean, I don't have a problem looking into it, but I don't know that I want to adopt this. I mean, I'd like to hear some input from others. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, can't come in from that.
Or, you know, somebody,
Make a motion to adopt construction standards for multi-use trails on abandoned road corridors
I'm for it.
as presented.
Can you change that to the, allow Chad to come and explain it to us? In an open meeting, that way
Yeah.
everybody knows and in an open meeting exactly what we're doing. And we know that there's no confusion when we can ask questions. I'm for it.
I'm for it too, but I just want to have, I want to feel good about it. I don't feel good about it right now. Without looking at it, talking to others that are professionals.
We
in the
need to
field.
get on it because
I'm sorry,
Chad's,
it's not quick enough.
no, Chad's out going out for bids for trails, and I just want to make sure that we standardize what he's doing before.
Well, I'm sure Chad knows how to do this. It probably isn't his first.
It's not what he's doing, it's whether or not we're going to standardize our trails.
And let's go ahead and have Chad come in the training. Or the thing outside on the fifth. Let's go ahead and move forward with this on that after we have time to read this and because I haven't, student helping. And we have Chad and I'll look at the session.
And my motion is to table it to the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Appreciate that. Motion to table number 8 until the next meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Well, Gina so gracefully told me that I missed number 6. So let's back up to number 6. Thank you, Gina.
Oh, yep. I
To
did that.
exonerations, corrective tickets, joint property applications, and it looks like we only have exonerations. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve exonerations as presented.
Motion to approve exonerations as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carried. Number 10, review, discuss, consider rail trail update, potential executive session pursuant to 69A. 4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction, planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which if made public might adversely affect the financial or other interest of the state or any local subdivision.
Madam President, we don't have an update for this one. This is a standing item.
I should have said
Sorry.
that before I read everything. I'm getting my practice in reading today. Okay, number 11. I know we have something on this, so. Review, discuss, consider update on sewer potential executive session pursuant to 69A 4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which if made public might adversely affect the financial or other interests of the state or any political subdivision.
Move to go into executive session.
Motion has been made to go into executive session. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carries. So nothing, no action to be taken on number 11, correct?
Correct, Madam President.
Number 12. Is there an update on the Ellis property before I read all this?
I don't have one. I'm not sure if anyone else. The only thing I have that I was going to mention is that we extended the flea market a couple more weekends.
To the end of the month? Is that?
We're gonna be able to secure the property once we close the flea market down to keep people from going back in.
Yes, sir.
So the fence was finished.
Fence is not finished yet, but will be. Had the conversation last week about finishing that.
We'll set some stuff up to chain it off so they can't drive around back in there.
Anything else on number 12? Number 13. Review, discuss, consider directing staff to negotiate acquiring a piece of property off Route 19 South, potential executive session pursuant to 698-4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which if made public might adversely affect the financial or other interest of the state and or any political subdivision.
Madam President, it's my item. You all could bear with me for 5 minutes in executive session to go over, I think something that would help us as supplying the county with Parks and Rec use. I would appreciate 5 minutes to go over this in executive session.
Okay.
Motion to go into executive session.
Who's going?
Laura and Trey.
Motion to go into executive session with Laura and Trey. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, what's the pleasure on number 13?
Direct staff to begin, a motion to direct staff to begin negotiation on acquiring a piece of property off of Route 19 South.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 14, review, discuss, consider request for disbursement from TIF fund for the County Commission of Harrison County Development District Number 6, North Central West Virginia Airport, requisition for North Central West Virginia Airport.
Madam President, this is just invoices that the airport turned in for the sector district, their airport. Usually only 2 things come out of it, except for the airport and also that recommend approving these invoices. Instructing session.
And there are funds there to take care of these, correct?
Yes.
So what's the pleasure on number 14?
Motion to approve distribution of TIF fund. District number 6 to the North Central West Virginia Airport.
Motion to approve disbursement from TIF fund for the County Commission Harrison County Development District Number 6, North Central West Virginia Airport. Requisition for North Central West Virginia Airport. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Number 15, review, discuss, consider funding request from the city of Clarksburg requesting $150,000 towards putting a splash pad at the Clarksburg City Park in Nutter Fort.
All right, He's not in.
She sent, the second letter she sent answered most of my questions, but what is the money going to be used for? Do we know? Yes. Okay,
For a match or?
that's what my question. Because my understanding is they got 100 or 300 and some $1,000 for a grant. How much is the whole thing going to cost? Where does our $150,000 come into it? And I understand they're asking $25,000 for another fourth. Has that happened yet? Do we know?
Not that I'm aware of. They come in.
And I still don't know how they're gonna fit that out there.
Says they're taking a soccer field, but which soccer field?
I guess the one where the miniature golf was.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure either. Oh, there's Annette. She's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about your.
Yes.
Okay, I'll ask you my question.
Okay, go ahead.
What's our money gonna be used for?
Well, we applied for this grant in 2023. And of course, inflation and costs like that. So we know there's going to be some overruns and some site preparation. It's going to be located
This is
where,
Annette, right, by the way, clerk, city clerk, in
Yeah.
case for the record, in case you didn't know that.
sorry. It's going to be located where the old mini golf course was. We don't feel like we have to relocate any of the parking. I think in her letter, she had mentioned that a lot of the events and things happen at different times. And the park board is confident that we could handle the splash pad there. With the little bit of extra monies, hopefully we can add some amenities to it to where anybody, even with disabilities, it was going to be ADA compliant, of course, but to more access for everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? That's right.
No. Is this to make up for match or is this a non-match grant that you all have?
And we set aside ARPA funds for that, but we understand that it's 2023, there's going to be more inflation.
How much ARPA?
We set aside for your.
Oh, okay.
So this is just a buffer that you're looking for. You don't really know if you're gonna need
We will,
50,000 or
Yeah.
250,000.
you know, have 2021st.
And when do you plan to go out for bid?
Oh, to get the funding. As soon as they allow us to go ahead and start planning for preparations, we're gonna start with them.
So this money is keeping you from going out for bid that you're asking us?
No, we just want to get final.
I guess I'll say to my fellow commissioners that it's $150,000 request, but
We don't know what it's.
we don't know what
I think we
ultimately.
need more information or more clarification maybe. Or wait and see if they actually need it.
It's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I appreciate you all trying to cover the cost, but and knowing that you have funding if you need it, but I think mine is going to be is a wait and see to, Annette, where you all are at as far as what your costs are and get it out to bid and see where that participation level needs to be. And again, I'm only can speak for myself, but I know there's a lot of other things we need to do with city that we're talking about, and we're trying to do a lot for the citizens in the county on some projects. So I think it would be prudent for us to wait to see where you all are at with this project and whether or not we want to participate and at what level we want to participate. But that's just my opinion.
I don't disagree. Mr. Treehouse, do you have anything?
So I don't want to put it, table it. So
Just one day.
without a motion to go anywhere at this point, I think it'll die, and then you all can come back. And if that's all right with my other two commissioners.
It's fine with me. Mr. Treehouse? Okay. You will take that back.
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, no action on 15. Okay, number 16, review, discuss, consider duties of courthouse security and memorandum of understanding with the sheriff for courthouse security personnel, potential executive session to consider matters arising from the appointment, employment, retirement, promotion, transfer, demotion, disciplining, resignation, discharge, dismissal, or compensation of a public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee.
Move to go into executive session to discuss potential employment, promotion, and transfer and demotion discipline.
Motion is to go into executive session to discuss potential or employment, retirement, promotion, transfer, demotion. And we are taking Laura and Trey.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None motion carried. Okay. What are we doing with 16? Anything?
Yes.
Okay. We see that gets on the November 5th. Number 17, review, discuss, consider a resolution authorizing the application to the state of West Virginia for grant funds under the Land and Water Conservation District to erect lighting at the Summit Park softball baseball park.
Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
So this grant has become available again this year, and in discussion with our county administrator, we decided to apply for lighting, which I have done many times already in the past, for the Summit Park ball field, the lower ball field, which is, I guess, the softball field. And I don't have a new estimate, but I will get one because I'm assuming that it will be higher than the one that I got previously, which was $205,000. There is a 50-50 match. So if the project was 200, obviously the county would have to come up with 100. Included in that previous estimate that I received, it included putting up the electrical boxes and switches for these lights. And I learned yesterday that some of this has already been done. I didn't know that. So I don't know whether I need, if y'all want to go with this program, Or if you have another project in mind that you would rather go for, it's all up to you. But I don't know whether I need to have those folks to come back down here and take a look at what we have that's had been installed to see if they need to revise their budget or their estimate because of that. So I'm
My
just,
question would be, I thought they were working on the upper fields.
yeah,
Which lower field are we talking? Because there actually would be two. You've got the upper field, you've got a lower field in the front, and then you've got a lower field in the back.
okay, the one that I got this for was
Which is
for
not
what
field, really.
was the softball field that's level there with the
The
parking.
first one where you first come in.
Yes,
Say, now that's where they've worked on already?
I'm not sure because
Okay.
I couldn't,
Have you
I
had a
really
discussion
didn't get a
with
clear,
James?
pardon me?
Have you had a discussion with James?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's how I learned about it, but I didn't get a clear answer as to understanding as to which one of those that it was being installed at. So maybe you all know. I just didn't have any idea that anything was going on out there, so and it might be for an upper one.
Didn't think. any work had been done
I know
yet.
we've talked about it. He talked about it. Getty's a plan. He had a plan. Now,
Well,
whether he's called
I'm
it through the
thinking-
plan, I do not.
Thought we put a stop to him doing electrical sign work until we could actually hire somebody that can come in and look at the park and run.
So if we have a plan
Electric.
ready in place,
With Parks and Recs, you mean?
no, with for your grant that you
Well,
applied
with
for once.
the estimate that they gave me included the box, the electrical. The only thing that the county had to be responsible for was getting the electric from the main line over to the park. They would do all the hookups, run in the new boxes, the switches, all of that would be covered under their estimate.
We can only apply for the one field. We can't apply for two. There's a limit on the amount.
No, there's no limit. The limit is how much you all want to match. So that's totally up to you all if you want to go
Say
for
we
more
look
than.
at the upper one too.
Yeah, I thought the plan was for the upper one and what I'm calling the middle one, right there next to the park.
Yeah, in the past, the ones that I applied for was for what was the softball field, the main level.
Okay, they're technically, I think they're all softball.
They're all.
Oh, are they? Oh, I had
They
no
both,
idea.
there's,
Yeah,
Okay,
all softball fields.
but we definitely need to look into getting some electric.
yeah, and maybe I misunderstood, but I thought he said that they had some boxes in already and I was just, my eyes just went like that because it's like, oh, I had no idea. So I don't know, maybe I misunderstood. But that would be something we need to find out about.
When does this have to be done?
It's due December the 5th. And as you know, there's only 2 weeks that I'll be here to work on it. And I know it won't get, I won't be able to get it done in 2 weeks. There's a lot of information you have to pull together. And if we have to have them to come back down to give us another estimate plus add the other field, that'll be definitely another visit from them. So but I'll continue to do what I can.
Do we have to do both fields as one, or can we keep the fields separated?
Oh, you mean as far as the project goes?
Yeah.
No, you can separate them.
Like field one, field two.
So ask for.
We
grant
can-
for
we
field
can
one,
do- I
ask
can-
for grant for field two, maybe.
Yeah, we can do it like phase one is field one,
Okay.
phase two is field two, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do more than one. There's no limit.
And worst case scenario, if there's a box up there, I'm sure there's somewhere else we could use the box.
Yeah. The only limit is what you all want to match with. So,
Okay. I guess gonna make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the application to the state of West Virginia for grant funds to erect lighting at Summit Park in the form of, we need to call it field one and field two, or project one, project two.
phase one, phase two, however you all want to.
Whatever easier for you
pursue
to
it.
write it up and for you to.
In the grant world, they like phase
Okay.
one and phase
Phase
two.
one,
They like
phase two.
phases.
And that if you need to get the, do you have that? Do you have that resolution already written?
It is, but I can revise it. Or I can add another one I can change this one to say phase one. And then do another one and call it phase two, but I will have to get an estimate on that as well. To know the dollar amount, so.
Trey, is there gonna be an issue with us going ahead and approving for Susan to sign at a later date once we get this corrected?
2 weeks is something.
Yeah, I won't be here for the next meeting.
So,
I would just. There, I don't think there's anything that stops. you
Okay.
from- Pardon me, from preparing it and then go ahead at that time. Madam said it, that's.
You won't be here.
Won't have anybody.
Current, well, we'll have to probably. Someone figure it out, but that's what.
you can have it all ready to, if we sign it, to drop in the mail, I guess, is what.
It's electronically, you do it all online anymore.
That's not.
So I would defer it to the 5th.
Okay.
So meanwhile, do you want this company to come back down and give,
Let's see if they can't come back down and give us, and then I think we need to also, again, speaking for myself, we have somebody that's supposed to be our engineer of record to go over and make sure that whatever they need, then they know how to make sure that it gets from there to there. And
Okay.
that we're looking at electricity, if we're gonna run it from point A to point B for lights, that there's enough electricity to do other things installed correctly. So.
Okay.
um,
and then have
I'm
them,
gonna
Retract.
retract my motion and move this agenda item to the next commission meeting with
What?
those caveats.
I thought we were approving this one today and then the second one comes back on the 5th. Was that wrong then?
well, this one would need to be revised for phase one. But that's up to commission, what they want to do there. Regardless, I do think that they need to come down and do another estimate and
Let's just,
We have a
Update it.
few more items.
yeah, let's do that. Just,
Okay, so we're gonna approve this one, and she's gonna amend that to phase one.
yes,
Shut up. Okay. So we're going with your motion. Okay.
so
You have a motion. Would you like for me to repeat the motion? Okay. Clear as mud, right? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Good. Good
okay,
luck.
so we're going on with this one, right?
yes. If
Okay.
you want us to go on with for phase two, and we need to get them down to
Right,
look at it.
correct. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, number 18, review, discuss, consider travel request for 911 employee Christian Wentz to go to West Virginia Northern Community College in Martinsville campus on December 1st, 2025 for the APCO Active Shooter Incidents for Public Safety Communications class. Motion approved. Motion to approve travel. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Number 19. Review, discuss, consider travel requests for the following 911 employees to go to West Virginia Northern Community College New Martinsville campus on December 2nd, 2025 for the APCO Customer Service in today's Public Safety Communications class. We have A through I. Motion to approve travel on A through I. Is there any discussion?
I would recommend that we do A through H. It will be unable to attend.
Okay, so it's A through H
Yes, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
because I is unable to attend. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 20, review, discuss, consider change order from Schindler up to $125,000 for labor and installation of new courthouse elevators.
Madam President, this is a change order from Schindler. This is some work that needs done in preparation for the replacement of the new elevators next door at the courthouse.
They should have approved $125,000 for labor and installation of new courthouse elevator.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the change order up to $125,000 for labor and installation on new courthouse elevators, correct? Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Madam President, I'd like to remove tabled item 3 to review and discuss and consider recommendations on fire services for RFP
You want to remove it from the table item?
and bring it to it's up for a vote.
Okay, so the motion is to take number 3 from the tabled items and bring it before us for action.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. So now we will review, discuss, consider recommendations on the fire service RFP.
We have had this tabled for several weeks now, waiting for input. And I think that, Laura, you do have, one bidder that we are looking at.
There were actually 2 bids with this RFP study.
Okay, and the difference between the 2 bids.
Without having them right here in front of me, I don't recall offhand.
It's a few $1,000s, but
It was.
I can make it easy. I make a motion that we go with low bidder to begin doing a fire service study on the volunteer fire departments in Harrison County.
okay, motion is to go with the low bidder. We have no idea who it is for the fire service.
If you give me 1 second, I found Matrix, they're at 4,000. And Public Consulting Group is 74,960. So it would be Public Consulting Group.
That's who I would recommend in the motion, Madam President.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. So I guess it passes. We were not going to hear from Paul and Peggy about it? Wasn't that the plan? Okay, I guess I should ask that before the motion or before the.
I think that was the original, but then it kept getting moved around from Paul and Peggy to other groups, and nobody has seemed to come back with a recommendation for the commission since we offered that up. And I just felt it was important we get that started, especially with
I do too, but I think
everything
there's a
that's coming
different
on.
route to go, but that's okay.
Madam
Because you're really
President,
gonna upset the apple cart, I'm afraid, make it worse than it already is.
I would like to bring up tabled item number 1.
Okay, motion to bring before us tabled item number 1, review, discuss, consider, freeze all spending, expense related to reorganization of bonds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Madam, I'd like to discuss before we vote that the city of Bridgeport on Monday left their lawsuit open and is yet to not stop it. There's a potential that this could go all the way to Supreme Court. And these bond that's being the extension might not even be approved. We are paying Steptoe and Johnson to negotiate a reorganization of bonds that might not happen. And I think we need to freeze that until all lawsuits are settled. And then at that time, we can revisit whether or not we want to continue to pour money into this project. Back when this was tabled, we were over $250,000 on our way to $300,000 in refundable expense. And I think that until the court settle it out, that we need to sit back and see what happens and quit spending our money if it's not going to materialize. So my motion is to freeze until the courts have ruled all spending and expenses related to reorganizing the bonds.
We haven't
Charles
voted
Point.
to bring this off the table yet.
Okay.
Okay. So all in favor of bringing this off the table, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Laura?
I don't have anything, Madam President.
Commissioner Treehouse? Commissioner Deacon?
I'd like to bring tabled item 4.
Okay, so that's your motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to remove tabled item 4 from the tabled items, review, discuss, consider changing public comments to email only. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. What's the pleasure on review, discuss, consider changing public comments to email only?
Madam President, due to a lack of a motion to approve or disapprove, I consider item 4 dead.
Okay. So it will be removed from the table items.
Okay, so it's removed, and our motion is to put it down. What if we do something like that where we still allow people to go to the podium? But work with, like, for example, I was thinking about this, we could work with social media network like the newspaper to actually go through those and then to allow them to find out what's real and what's not real. And you see what I'm saying? Because what we don't want is fictitiousness out there, but I love that citizens having the ability to speak to us through the internet. And then possibly work with the newspaper to allow them to run it as well as our own website to do it. You see what I'm saying? That way we have total
So Patty,
transparency.
I guess my question would be then, you would take emails and make them part of the record?
Sure, that would be a good idea. That way the citizens actually have a voice. Because never want to get rid of the podium. That's like that young lady that was there today. She got to talk to us about what's going on in her neighborhood. And then also because it's such a social media world now, that we actually use the newspaper to sort through what's fictitious, what's not fictitious, allow them to post it and allow them to be our, we don't have somebody that can dissect that down to find out if it's actually me or if it's somebody creating a false account that was just like a bash, you know what I mean?
Okay, we're not gonna read these emails during the meeting. They'll just be made part of that, just on our website as part of the
And I think we could give Laura the chance to see if she could go to the newspaper where they're trained to get editorials as from the beginning of time, to see if we could work out an agreement with them where they work with us on that. I like the idea. The only thing I didn't like about the idea was the getting rid of the podium. I think we should always give the citizen a chance to voice their opinion, but the voice today, let's face it, it's keyboard.
But they already have the opportunity to email us.
Yeah, and then this way we get sorted and share.
Are you gonna make a public comment email or cite that they're whatever? I'm not all
Why don't we
taking.
let Laura talk to the newspaper and see?
But what's the newspaper have to do?
Well, we have to have somebody, because we don't want to print something that's, you making a false account. We want to make sure that no different, that they run an editorial, that it's actually Susan Thomas, you know.
So you think the newspaper will go through these and figure out which is good and which is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we can work out an agreement with them. I mean, I'm not gonna do it for free. What do we get for free to commission or anywhere? But, I mean, it would be it would give people woods. I mean, I don't care. It's just an idea. I thought about it. It's just something to think about.
I'll toss this out to you, Patsy, is that we keep public comment and emails, but limit emails to, Trey, can we do that 250 words or 500 words?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that.
So we don't have a manifesto of 500 pages.
Yeah, and that's where I want the newspaper to be involved. 'Cause
Well,
they're professionals.
But I think if it's submitted to us, then it would be made part of the record. I mean,
It's correct, and you would just have a security feature like you go on and you click all the boxes that show a stop sign or something like that. So you don't get a bunch of Russian virus submittals.
It's legit. What you're saying. I mean, I don't care, guys. It's nothing. It's nothing to get mad about or for us to roll our eyes. I just thought maybe we want to be more transparent and citizens more voice. I don't care.
I'm fine with that, and I just know that some other entities that I sit on, we just use email only because we found that we got more information because people are willing to write it than they are willing to come stand up here and talk to us.
Let's do that.
But I'm perfectly happy to do both, and we just limit the length of them. Do you want to have staff come up with parameters and bring those back to us?
Well, I think that's what I was talking about, like the professionals of the newspaper.
Yeah, we need to know how we're gonna do this.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Give Laura a chance to just go talk. All she wants.
I mean,
So,
God, I almost said,
do you want me to, I mean,
you go
the
talk.
motion died. I'm just trying to figure out, do we want to bring that back up as a motion, or is this something we just want to?
No, it didn't die. We didn't vote on it. We just said it died. That make it neat dies.
Okay,
But we,
so.
all we did is our table it right now. This is up for discussion, and I'm saying with the agenda item, why don't we give Laura permission to go talk to somebody who's professional in this? And
then come back and.
yeah, and it may die then.
Sure.
So the motion, but continue with public comments and to have staff come back with
An email option.
an outline for email option.
Chance to,
Okay. That was easy.
Okay, do we even vote to take it off the table?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the motion is to continue with public comments, and Laura is to look into email options. Isn't what you said, David? Parameters.
for email public comments.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I'm a little iffy with that. What? No, I'm not saying it's I'm not going, it's the way of the world. But we still have a lot of people that wanna, well, not a lot of people.
We have one woman today, and I think it was important. Anyway, I don't have anything that.
Neither do I. I have a motion.
But the only thing that I would like, when I kind of let it die, rail trail update is for staff to get with engineer of record on Rail Trail to perform the same studies that they've done on other parts of the rail trail to bring back to us what kind of costs we're looking at to fix VA to Mount Clair and from Spelter back to Northview.
Motion. Adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Bye, guys.